Good morning, viewers. Meet me again with Atin supporting me with another story. It's about Cinderella. Okay. Are you familiar with her? Who is she? I think you know that she is Cinderella. So just go to your story here. So let's see about the notes of generic structure of narrative text. First is orientation. It means to introduce participant or the characters to the story with the time and place set. Orientation actually exists in every text type, though it has different terms. In this story, the first paragraph is clearly seen to introduce the participants of Cinderella's story. They were Cinderella herself as the main character of the story, her stepmother which treated Cinderella badly, and her stepsister which supported her mother to make Cinderella was treated very badly. And then we go to complication. What is complication? It is such the crisis of the story. If there is not the crisis, the story is not a narrative text. In a long story, the complication appears in several situations. It means that sometimes there is more than one complication. In this Cinderella story, we can see clearly that there are major. The second paragraph is the major complication of the Cinderella story. Cinderella got bad treatment from her stepmother. It is the bed crisis which dives into several minor complications. Resolution. It is the final series of the events which happen in the story. The resolution can be good or bad. The point is that it has been accomplished by the characters. Like complication, there are major resolution and minor resolution. In the last paragraph, it is said that finally Cinderella lived happily. It is the happy resolution. Notes for the narrative text. It is important to note that the social function of narrative text is to inform and entertain. Narrative text will tell the story with amusing way. It provides an aesthetic literacy experience to the reader. Narrative text is written based on life experience. In literary term, experience what we do, feel, hear, read, even what we dream. Narrative text is organized focusing at character-oriented. It is built using descriptive familiar language and dialogue. There are some genre of literary texts which fit to be classified as the narrative text. Some of them are folk tales. It includes fable, legend, myth, or realistic tales, mysteries, fantasy science, or realistic fiction. Commonly, narrative text is organized by the story of grammar. It will be beginning, middle, and the end of the story. To build the story grammar, narrative text needs plot. This plot will determine the quality of the story. Plot is a series of episodes which hold the reader attention while they are reading the story. Conflict is the main important element of the plot. This conflict among the characters will drive the story progress. In this conflict, reader will be shown how the characters face the problem and how they have ability to handle that problem. So we go to narrative genre. Yeah, the purpose is to entertain or to amuse the readers. And lexicogrammatical features that is used in narrative are focus on specific participants, use of action verbs, use of linking and mental verbs, use of time conjunction, and the use of past tense. So in the Cinderella story, we have specific participant. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Cinderella. Cinderella is a specific participant. She was pretty, loving, and clever. This is action verb. But she was very poor. She lived with her stepmother and stepsister. Live is past tense. They hate Cinderella very much. Hate or hated is mental verbs. Fortunately, she met a prince. He fell in love with her. The words met, it means action verbs. Then Cinderella became a princess. So, for the generic structure, we can find out that orientation. In the sample of Once Upon a Time, there was a little girl named Cinderella. Evaluation. She was pretty, loving, and clever. Complication. But she was very poor. She lived with her stepmother and stepsisters. They were very mean. Resolution. Fortunately, she met a prince. He fell in love with her. And reorientation. Then Cinderella became a princess. So you can see about the Cinderella, stepmother, stepsisters, the announcement of ballroom, and Cinderella wants to go to the dance, and there is a very godmother that helps Cinderella to be a pretty girl. And it changed everything using magic. Cinderella is told to leave the room or the ballroom before 12 o'clock. The prince chose Cinderella to dance with him, and then after the clock strike 12, Cinderella ran away and he left her, what is it, shoes, one of her shoes, and the prince want to find out Cinderella that had danced with him, and then they find out that Cinderella is the one who matched with the shoes. And finally, what happened? So Cinderella and the prince live happily ever after. Okay, that's for today. We will see in another occasion. So I hope that you will enjoy this subject today. See you then. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.